So this store here is super cool. It's essentially a personalized product store where people can upload tons of different photos to create a one-of-a-kind product. They have products for various birthdays that people may be having. They even have an entire line of kids' birthday-themed product. And on the product page, the customer can literally enter a whole bunch of different customizations to the designs to create a one-of-a-kind item. This is all done on a Shopify store using several different apps to allow these different things to be selected by the customers. On the product page here, they can upload a whole bunch of different photos and even change the text on the design as well. And if you're just starting print on demand or looking for some additional information to help you with your own store, make sure to join the POD Ninjas Facebook group. There's a link down in the description. Inside the group, there's tons of print-on-demand training as well as product reviews from a whole bunch of different suppliers. And inside of the POD Ninjas group is where I actually got the URL for this store. Every single Tuesday, I make this post here where I ask people to share their store for a chance to have it featured in one of my videos here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about personalization. We're going to be going back and looking at the store that I was just showing you, and I'll also be showing you some other print-on-demand stores that do a really great job at creating personalized product. This video will be full of value, so if you do enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button. That's not only so that my channel can grow, but it's also to help other people out there. There's likely someone that is looking for print-on-demand content like this, and if you hit the like button, that tells YouTube to share this video with more people. So thank you for doing that. Let's jump back in and look at this store. I want to talk a little bit about the homepage brand that this store has. I think the name of this store is great. It says yourlifemydesign.com. You can see as we scroll through, they have a lot of really awesome images that kind of explain how the process works. They show some different examples of the products, and then down below there are some images that appear to be some sort of social proof from previous customers. The one thing I don't like about this store is actually two things. First, the logo. I think the logo looks really small. I think it's very difficult to see, and I think that you're losing an opportunity to really showcase more of your brand if that logo was a little bit bigger or if it just stood out a little bit more. The second thing, up at the top here in the announcement bar, it just says custom orders are available. I really view the announcement bar as a very valuable piece of real estate on a store, and something that you write there should really drive sales for you. Just writing custom orders are available, I don't think is necessarily a great use of that space. Now, before we look at this store a little bit more, if you guys want a full overview of how to actually do personalization on a Shopify store, make sure to check out this video here where I walk you through that process, talk you through the setup of a whole bunch of different print-on-demand apps that you're going to need to use. There's also a whole bunch of videos. There's about 10 of my most helpful videos down in the description of this video, so make sure to check those out after watching this one. Now, personalized gifts are a massive market, and it is growing every year. A recent assessment in 2019 valued the personalized gift market at just over $26 billion. And experts predict that by 2026, it will grow to over $40 billion. Now, as print-on-demand sellers, this means we have a massive opportunity to capitalize on some of this interest in personalized gifts. Now, I am someone who has had a bit of success with personalized products. I've never gone all in and built out an entire store for personalization. I have just dabbled a little bit with various niches that I've sold in the past, but I've definitely had some good luck with allowing customers to personalize various elements of my designs. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is don't hear what I'm not saying. What I mean is you don't have to do personalization. Yes, it's a massive opportunity, but that doesn't mean that print on demand without personalization isn't still a great thing. And also, not every niche is actually going to be good for personalization. I think depending on the type of niche that you're selling to, then maybe personalization makes sense. But in some cases, it just makes it weird and it kind of defeats the purpose of what you're actually trying to do. And you're probably going to have less luck with personalization than if you had just created a design without it. So let's take a look at this product here. This is a 30th birthday photo collage where someone can essentially upload a whole bunch of photos. You can see here under the photo quantity, they can do 1 through 149 photos for free, right? Where they're able to upload up to 149 without having to pay extra. If they have more than 150 photos, they can do that that, but they would be charged an extra $25. In addition to the photos on this product, they can change the name here as well as the birthday. And then if we scroll down, you'll see that there are different options in terms of the sizing here. Now, what I really want to do in this video is first showcase how much potential personalized products have, but also caution you on certain elements of actually doing this. And for the person that submitted this store in the POD Ninjas Facebook group, I want to give some tips here because I think you have a great concept going, but I think there are some things here that might hinder your success. As I was sort of preparing to make this video, I became a little bit confused at how this product is actually created. What I mean by that is I think this part here makes sense, right? Processing time up to 7 days, that makes sense. Photo quantity, that makes sense. I think right here, right, background words. So if I choose yes, okay, I can then customize all the words on the back of this design. So you can see all over this where it says, brother, intelligent, charming, leader, brilliant, handsome, things like that. That's what I could customize. And a little bit later in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips around creating personalized items for sale on your store, and that to me is just a lot of extra work for people, right? And I think that you might, if you're going to do this, maybe just remove those words entirely, right? Because that could be these words could be something that might turn somebody off. Maybe they don't want all these words on the product, but they also don't want to spend the time to come up with all of the words, up to 40 words, right? So that's the first thing. I think the second thing here is your photo quantity. What happens if somebody only uploads 10 photos, right? I think for them, they might not have a great looking product, right? And then also, uploading 100 photos is a lot of work, right? I don't know that I would even be able to do this if I was going to create one. I don't know that I would actually have 100 photos that I would want to use in this. It's a lot of work, right? And like I said, one of the things that I'm going to talk about in a little bit is some tips around personalization. And the main tip is keeping things as simple as possible. What you have here is a really great idea. I just worry that it might be too complex for most people. Moving on, you can see right here it says customize now. If they select yes, they're going to have the ability to choose a whole bunch of different options here in terms of the fonts and the background colors and things like that. Now, one thing here in terms of the wording, you wrote confirm collage shape, right? And it took me a few seconds to actually understand what that actually meant. But what you're referring to is the number, right? The birthday number. So if someone typed 25 here, that would mean that the photos would be arranged with the number 25, right, instead of 30. I would have just changed this text here instead of confirm collage shape. I would have just typed enter age or something like that, just to make things a little bit simpler. Now, another critique that I have is I think there's just too many background options here. One thing that I've heard a lot of people talk about in the past when it comes to marketing and selling products and things like that is sometimes when you give your customer too many choices, they won't make one, right? And a product like this has a lot of choices for people to make where you're almost going to make them feel some sort of analysis paralysis, right? Where there's going to be too many different things. I think also, as people are clicking through these, it would have been really cool for them to see examples of the different products with the different backgrounds, and that could be achieved by you if you trimmed your background colors down, where you could actually go through and actually create examples with the different colors, right? I think you got 12 different shades of brown here. I think you probably could cut that down to 1 or 2. I think you could have 1 or 2 blue options, 1 green, 1 yellow, you know what I mean? Kind of cutting it down a little bit. I think the next part that is a little bit confusing is this line here. It says wording, top of collage, right? If I typed here, the best guy ever or something like that, where does that actually show up on here, right? Because of course, there's no built-in preview where I start typing where it would actually happen, but if we zoom in on this, I don't see any text here as it is, so I'm not sure if I was to type something here for wording, top of collage, I don't know where that would actually go. Same thing down here, it says wording, bottom of collage. I'm assuming that is the name and the birthday, right? I might have broken that up a little bit. I might have, said what is the person's name, and they could enter that, and then what is the birthday, and you could enter that separately, and that would just make things a little bit more smooth for them as they're creating their product. Another thing that I think might be confusing is you can see down here there are font styles. You have 15 different font styles. If we scroll back up, this is selected through a drop down right here. And I think you might have more luck if you trim this down a little bit, maybe give people 5 different options. I think really when it comes down to it, a lot of these fonts that you have here are really quite the same. I don't think that you actually need 15. Again, when you're doing personalization, one of the most important parts is to make things simple and not overwhelm somebody with too many different choices. Now, another thing here that I think might confuse people as well is there's a box that says, when do you need this by? And people can select a date. Well, what if I'm ordering this and I select that I need it by January 3rd, right? Well, today, as I'm filming this, it is December 28th. So it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to get this by January 3rd. I might try to either remove that and just really spell out exactly how long this whole process is going to take, or if they are clicking when they need it, like maybe tell them like, here's the minimum of when you should expect it. That way you're not going to run into someone actually going through the entire process and spending, the hour or so to complete the customization of the design, and then they enter in a date that's not possible to actually receive the product by. Essentially what I'm saying here is there is just a lot of information here about what actually goes into this, and I worry that people will get overwhelmed. I sort of, pictured like my wife, for example, like if she was going to be creating something like this, like she might be interested, but once she actually starts going through it and there's just so many different options, she might get overwhelmed and really feel like it might not be worth it for her. What I try to do a lot, and I'm going to show you an example of this, is whenever I'm doing personalization, I try to really make things not only simple, but also explain them in a really simple way, right? One of the really good ways to do that is by using images. On your homepage here, you've done that. You do have images here. I would have used this similar image on your product page somewhere instead of just all of this text that likely might make people a little bit confused. Now, my last little bit of critique here is the different options here, right? When I click the size drop down, there are literally like 30 to maybe 50 different options here in terms of sizing. You have 11 by 14 print, you have 11 by 14 canvas, you have 11 by 14 standout print. I think really trying to tell people what the difference is between those could be of benefit to you. Like if you scroll down here, you can see different sizes, right? So you listed the sizes here, but I don't know if those are canvases or prints or standout prints or what. Like if I was doing this, I might do 3 options. I might have, or actually 6 options. I might have print and canvas, right? Print is something that is going to need a frame, right? And you do list that somewhere on here. I don't know where that is. I did see it earlier, but a print is basically they receive a poster and then they have to frame it themselves. So you can do a print option and then you could do a canvas option. The print option, again, would need a frame and the canvas wouldn't, right? And then you could offer 3 sizes, right? They could do a small, a medium, and a large. And that way things are just a little bit more simple for them. I think when people are trying to do this, like not only are they choosing all these background colors, all these fonts, then now they have over 30 different options in terms of what it actually looks like. I think this is a really cool idea. I just worry that people are not going to go through the process because it's a little bit difficult. Another thing I noticed is as I started looking at other products, I noticed that the process was not the same. So if we come over here, so before I show you a store that does a fantastic job at doing personalization, it is likely a store that does $1 million in revenue, most likely. I want to go through some personalization do's and don'ts with you if this is something that you're looking to do with print on demand. I think first is choose an underlying niche. What I mean by this is try to incorporate niche elements into your design. What I mean by that is take a look at this store here. They've essentially made the niche about being a firefighter and then created a personalized design for it. This is going to help because it's going to allow you to target a little bit better, and in a business model where the niche is so important, this is going to be a big thing when it comes to actually succeeding with print on demand. If you want some more information on like choosing niches and things like that and like what types of things to avoid, check out this video here. The link is down in the description. Now also I said don't make things too complicated. You want personalization to be easy. You want people to be able to complete things in just a couple of minutes as they are processing their order. Now, of course, the site that we looked at today with the collages and things like that, those are really unique products, and there's definitely going to be a market for that. But I think some of the tips that I gave around trying to make things a little bit simpler are going to go a long way. I don't see necessarily a problem with all of the photos that have to be uploaded for that, but I think some of the other things might make it a little bit difficult for people to actually complete their order. Now, another thing thing is around explaining the process, right? I think when people are creating a product, like they want to really understand what's going to happen, right? They're going to want to understand exactly what it is they are getting, because if they're going to invest the time into creating it and then also paying a decent amount for it, because a personalized product you can often charge more, you want them to really understand exactly what they are getting. That's why when we were looking at the Canvas store today, I was saying, maybe they should create some examples that show the different backgrounds and maybe, trim down the fonts and show examples of those so that way people can actually see what it is they might be getting. I also showed how on the store, on the homepage, they had various images that outline the personalization process. I think using some of those on the homepage could be a great thing as well. Now, another thing here that we hadn't talked about was don't try to offer too many products. Now, the store that we looked at today, it was basically canvases. They had a whole bunch of different variations, but sometimes I see people creating a personalized product store and they're doing t-shirts, hoodies, blankets, phone cases, keychains, jewelry, wall art, all this different stuff. Like, try to, start small, right? Try not to do everything first and really take into account, which products are going to be cool for your niche. I think sometimes people just go overboard. They get excited about creating personalized products and they try to do everything, right? I think, again, keep things simple. Some of the best print-on-demand personalized product stores out there are very simple. They excel in one thing. And, going back to the store that we looked at today, they have things for anniversaries, birthdays, birthday kids, numbers, custom shapes. Like they have a lot of stuff here. Honestly, looking at this, I think it's just a little bit saturated, and I think the menu might be tough for people to go through. Like here's one, and when I say saturated, I meant to say like scattered. You got one with a drum set here, you got a dancing one, which is great, but I would try to figure out a way to condense this product offering here. I think if people are going to be browsing this, there's just so many different options here for them, and I worry that they're going to get a little bit confused, and I also worry about the creator of the store. Like this likely took a long time to put together, and if my memory is correct, I've seen you post a few times in the POD Ninjas group, and I'm not sure, I can't remember if the sales are like really great or not. I can't remember if you've made like a few sales or if you're like crushing it. So here's a store called crownandpaw.com. You've likely seen it before. They specialize in personalized pet canvases where essentially you can take a photo of your pet and turn it into a silly portrait. And they have done a really great job at creating a unique take on personalization and simplifying things extremely well. Literally, all you do to get this done is you choose what you want it to look like, meaning you choose what the photo is going to look like. Do you want it to be an astronaut? Do you want it to be a soldier? And literally, you go to the product page and you upload the photo of your pet, and that's it. There's really nothing else to it, and it's really simple, and people really understand what it actually looks like because they have good images. They have a bunch of examples of what the product actually looks like, and like I said, I think if you're going to do personalization and try to capitalize on the massive opportunity that exists, is you got to do something like this. You got to specialize in one thing, and you got to do it really well, and you got to explain your process. I think those are really the three keys to succeeding with personalization when it comes to print on demand. And I think that this is something that if you have the skill to do, then maybe do it, right? I don't think this is for everybody because it does take a lot of work. You do have to have some talent when it comes to graphic design, but overall, I do think there's a lot of potential with this for a lot of different people, and I wanted to make a video and kind of talk about it as we head into 2022. So let me know what you think down in the comments if you guys are doing personalization or if you're not. Also, make sure to check out some of the other resources that I have for you. I have a complete course. It's free, and it's going to help you to start your Shopify store. There's over 20 step-by-step videos that are going to show you how to sync print-on-demand suppliers, create products, customize your store, and even how to create Facebook ad accounts and more. There's a link in the description for that as well. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, drop a like, and I'll see you guys next time.